Hello everyone, welcome to Coders Camp. We are at 22nd day of March LeetCode challenge and the problem we are going to cover in this video is smallest string with a given numeric value. So the input given here is two integer value n and k, and we have to return a string as our output, which is nothing but lexicographically smallest string with length n and numeric value equal to k. So here the problem statement says that the alphabet starting from A to Z will be positioned with one indexed, that is A is 1, B is 2 and so on, and we have to form a string whose numeric value is equal to k or and of length n and return it. So let's understand this with an example. So here's a given first example where n is equal to 3 and k is equal to 27. So which means we have to form a 3-character string whose value is equal to 27. So the output could possibly be A, Y, because A is equal to 1, again A is equal to 1, which sums up to 2, and the rest is going to be 25. Y is going to be 25, and finally Z is going to be 26, which we already know. So we can also form A, B, and X, or A, C, and W, which will also sums up to 27. But here the problem statement clearly says we have to form lexicographically smallest string. So in that case, AY would be the lexicographically smallest out of all these solutions, because the second character is B and C here in the other words, wherein the first word is having A. This is going to be lexicographically smallest. So how are we going to approach this programmatically? So here the idea is to first form the string with all A's, because our string has to be smallest and A is the smallest of all characters. So we are going to fill our string with all A's so that we get the smallest string first, and then we are going to append or overwrite the last character or from the last character towards left, so that we make sure that the string maintains the lexicographical order. So now we have all A's in our first example for n is equal to 3, which sums up to 3. So now our k given here is 27. We have to have 24 more values that has to be satisfied in order to get our first example done. So here our string is already formed with all A's whose sum is equal to 3. So now we have our k is equal to 27. We still have 24 more values to be filled. So let's start by overriding the last character with values. So let's say the first two A's stays the same and we are appending A with B. So now it becomes 4. Same way we are overriding B with C, and this is 5, and D, this is 6, and so on. Finally, we are going to append it with Y, which will give you the value of 27. So as we finally fix the last character's value as Y, the rest of the two characters are going to stay the same, and this is going to be our output. So how did we do it? We just started to override the values from the last most character. So now we already have a 1. We have to have 24 more. So character Y will actually get you to that range, which will simply be, we are first going to check whether we can append this with an Z. So Z is nothing but the last character which is having the value 26. So in this case, we are simply going to remove this character and override it with Z. So we don't actually add 26, we add only 25. Why? Because we already have a value A which is 1. So in this case, we add 26 and subtract 1. So which is simply done by doing a -1 for this character. So if we add 25 to it, which will actually be overriding 24, because we have only 24 left. If we add 25, then it goes in, case value goes in -1. So in that case, we cannot append it with Z. So what would be the previous character to Z, which is nothing but Y. So for Y, the actual value is 25. So we are going to replace A with Y. So in that case, we will be adding only 24 to it, because we will add 25 and subtract 1. So 24 satisfies with the existing 24, that is the value of K. So we are going to append it with Y. So hope you're understanding this logic. If not, let us do a quick run through for the second example, so you will get a better understanding. So now n is equal to 5, so we have to form a string of length 5. So let us fill with all a's in all 5 positions. So as I said, we are going to replace or overwrite the values from the last character towards the first character. So now we have our value as 73. So now k is equal to 73. So as I said, we have added 5 a's, which sums up to 5 for now. So let us subtract 5 from 73, which will give you 68. So why we are subtracting 5? Because we have the sum of 5. So we have to add 68 more to this string. So we are going to replace the last character with the highest value possible. So what is the highest value from A to Z, which is Z, whose value is equal to 26. So here we are going to check whether we can add Z at the end. So 68 minus 26 is something higher, so we can actually add the value Z at the end. But here, instead of adding 26, we are simply going to add 25. Why? Because the last character will be replaced by Z. So in this case, if we are going to replace A, we are going to first remove A, which will take away minus 1 from the total sum, and we add 25 to it. So in short, we simply add 25 instead of 26. So the characters are going to be same for the first 4 places, and finally we are going to add an Z, which will actually sum up to 5 plus 25, 30. So as we have added one more 25 to our string, let us subtract this 25 from 68, which is 43. So we have 43 more value left to be added to the string. As we have added our last character to Z, which is the maximum value, so we have to now move to our last but one character and check whether we can replace it with the highest value, which is Z. So if you subtract 43 with 26, you still have more values to add. So in this case, again, the rest of the characters are going to be same, and we are going to replace it with Z, and the last character is already Z. So now we have to subtract one more 25 from here, which will give you 18. So we still have 18 more to be added to our string. So now we have last two characters appended to the maximum value, so we cannot change it. So now it's time to move to one last but one character. So now we have only 18 left to be filled. So we are checking whether Z can be replaced in this place. No, because we only have 18, but the value of Z is 26. For our problem, it is going to be 25. So we can't do it. So further, we reduce it by one character. Y will be 24, W will be 23, and so on. And finally, S will be your 18. So when you fill this character with S, this 18 will be subtracted and our K will become 0. So our solution will actually be A, S, Z, Z, and our K has become 0 and our length is already 5, and this satisfies our input criteria, and this is going to be our output. So this is going to work in big O of n time and space complexity, because we are going to use an additional memory to compute this characters, which is a character array, and we are going to iterate all the characters of length n and fill in the values. So let's get into the code now. So here is our code for our problem, which is pretty simple. As I said, we are going to have a character array which is going to hold all our characters, and finally we are going to return it in form of string, because our output is going to be in string. And first we are filling our array with all a's. As I said, we have to fill it with minimum value, and first we are going to subtract with n, because if we add a in all the positions from total k, n will be subtracted as we have added as many number of a's to it. And finally we are going to iterate till our k is becoming 0, and at the position from the last, because n is at the last position, we are going to subtract or decrement our n at every iteration, so that our values will be filled or overridden from the last position. So as I said, we are going to check which is minimum, whether 25 or k. If 25 is minimum from k, we first append it with z and subtract the value from k. If not, if k is minimum, then we are going to append it with result with that particular character and subtract it from k. And finally, our k becomes 0. So we are going to replace the characters from the last till however position it holds. And finally, we are going to return it in form of result. So hope you're understanding this code. Let's give it a try. Yes, so let's submit. Yes, the solution has been accepted and it runs in 23 milliseconds. So thanks for watching the video. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe and let me know in comments. Thank you.